Which NBA team has the most unhappy fan base? That is a question we're trying to answer today. And the reason I'm thinking about this is a couple days ago on the Zach Lowe show, he had Nikias Duncan on, and they talked about a random group of NBA teams: the Pelicans, the Bulls, the Grizzlies, the Hornets, and the Bucks. And when he got to talking about the Bulls, Zach Lowe said, and I quote, "They are the most unhappy fan base in the NBA. And I don't even think it's close." You've watched this channel. You may have seen some tweets. You know I am definitely not happy as a Bulls fan. But do I think the fan base at whole is the most unhappy in the entire org? Like, yes, if you watch this channel, you follow me on Twitter, you know I am definitely not happy as a Bulls fan. And I'm not alone. But then I think about it, are we really the most unhappy fan base in the entire association? Like, yeah, I hate our ownership. Yeah, I hate the people that are, calling the shots because they're just okay with being a 500 team every single season. But at least I'm a little bit optimistic about some of the players in the young core. So are we the most unhappy fan base? I don't know, but we're going to find out. This video is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use code KFR10 for 10% off your purchase of tickets. SeatGeek take tickets from all over the internet and put them in one central location for you. The NBA season is right around the corner, but trust me, it's not just sports on SeatGeek. They got concerts, comedy, Broadway, festivals. If you need tickets, you got to check out SeatGeek first. They take tickets from all over the internet and put them in one central location, so it makes it as easy as possible. Let me show you. Load up the SeatGeek app. Let's say I want to go to the Chicago Bulls season opener. It is against the Detroit Pistons, two Central Division teams. You're going to see the venue. First thing you got to do is select how many tickets you want. Let's say it's me and a couple of the homies. So we got three tickets. You're going to see the venue with a bunch of dots. The greener the dot, the better deal. I like to sort by deal score. So this is a 10 out of 10 deal. $113 to sit in section 119. That seems pretty dope. And as you can see, it is a very good view. Did you see how fast I did that? I would have been able to watch my Bulls lose on opening night. That is such a great thing. All you got to do is load up SeatGeek, use code KFR10 to get 10% off your purchase of tickets. It could be the first time you use SeatGeek or the 1,000th time. It will not matter. Thank you again to SeatGeek for sponsoring this video. And trust me, I truly do believe we're towards the bottom. Don't get me wrong. In my entire conscious life, we've really only been good one time. That was Derrick Rose, Joakim Noah, Luol Deng. That's like a 3 to 4 year stretch where the Bulls like, 50-win team, 60-win team, one conference finals appearance. But that's it. Every other year over the last 20 years has been mediocre to bad. And I say conscious life because technically I was alive for the second three-peat, but like, come on, bro. I wasn't watching basketball. So it really has been bad. But somehow that can't be worse than the Chicago Bulls of the West. You know I'm talking about the Sacramento Kings. Here are the Sacramento Kings records over the last however many years. Since 2005, 2006, they've made the postseason once, and that was the 2022-23 season. That was such a fun year. One of my favorite teams of this decade. Shout out to De'Aaron Fox. That season was electric. But they're going in the wrong direction. Hell, they were 10 games over 500, before last season, and they missed the postseason. We're like, okay, that's not that bad. And last year, they were sub 500. They're going in the wrong direction with an expensive team that basically just mirrors the Bulls. Let's be real. DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine play together again. That is still crazy to say aloud. They did just sign Russell Westbrook, which is fun. I'm so happy that Brody gets another year in the NBA because it did feel weird that he was not a part of an NBA team. But I don't think it's a good fit. I'm excited for it just because it's Russell Westbrook, but I don't think it's a good fit. Keegan Murray is already down with an injury. This team is going in the wrong direction with no real out, if you will. The one player that was an asset to them, De'Aaron Fox, they traded away in a trade where I felt like the Spurs got away as bandits. Right? Yeah, we threw some first-round picks, but as of today, those first-round picks don't look super exciting. And you think about the roster, they were trying to move Malik Monk to get Russell Westbrook. You thought maybe he was an asset. Maybe not. Devin Carter in the same rumors. Maybe not. So I would guess the Kings fans are more upset than the Bulls fans. But maybe it's the fact that the Kings fans have not been good almost ever. So though they're not happy, they're kind of used to this. You know what I mean? At least the Bulls have 6 rings in 10 years. I guess 8 years if you really think about it. So the old head Bulls fans are super upset because they know what greatness is, while the old head Sacramento Kings that was around to win that championship, they got to be in their 70s now. I don't even know if they care about the Kings no more. Never mind. That one championship that the Kings have was in the year 1950. So I said they're in their 70s. If they were in their 70s, that's because they were born the year the championship was. It's been a long time. Let's just say that. It's been a very long time. But I don't need to speculate, ladies and gentlemen. Because as I was thinking about this question, I was like, why should I speculate when I can hear from the fans themselves? So I went up to Twitter and I said, take this NBA fan base happiness survey for me It basically was a 2-question survey. What team do you support and how happy are you on a scale of 1 through 10? And I think I may continue to do this. I may do this again halfway through the season to see how these numbers change. But I want to see how excited happy every team is going into the season. So we got about 4,000 responses, which I think is a really good sample size. Obviously, it only speaks for the people that watch my videos that also are NBA fans. It's not like a real representation of every single fan, because there's a real good amount of fans that are not on Twitter that care about NBA teams. So keep that in mind. But if you answered the 2 questions, I could get the data together and get the average of what your fan base is thinking about as far as happiness goes. So let's do that together. Here's how the results came in. Again, like I mentioned, nearly 4,000, so 3,828 responses and growing. Like, I keep getting updates that more people are answering, so thank you to everybody that participated. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to take the top team. We already got it alphabetized. So we had a total of only 77 Atlanta Hawks fans answered. We highlight that. Then we go to average right now, and I'm going to keep tallies here. The average Atlanta Hawks fan's happiness is a 7.4, which kind of feels low considering the hype that is behind the Atlanta Hawks right now. But maybe they're just like, hey, man, we've been hyped up before. We haven't really done anything. There are 2 Atlanta Hawks fans that are bringing some things down. Again, a 70-something sample size where they're at a 1. And they answer back to back. And I did have it so you can only answer 1 time per device. So there were 2 fans that answered 10 seconds after each other that both gave their excitement a 1, that's the low. I mean, obviously it's the lowest you can have, but everybody else is legit 7, 8, 9s, and we got a few 10s. It's like, hey, this might be our season. That's exciting. As you can imagine, I'm guessing that there's going to be a lot of Boston fans here. Yeah, look at all those Bostons, dude. These bigger markets, that's crazy. All right, so Celtics fans are 7.9 when it comes to their average. We got a few 10s in here. We got some 5s. And you know what? I can see it being all around, right? You got a championship just 2 years ago, but the team is going into a new phase. Not completely, right? Some of those guys that won a championship are still there, but Tatum being out going into the season, I can see it still being high, but maybe not as high as it was last season. For the most part, we're getting a lot of 8, 9s, and 10s. We do have a 4 in there, and a few 4s in there, but for the most part, it's pretty consistent. Shout out to Celtics fans. Then we get to the Brooklyn Nets. Oh boy, Nets fans. Let's see what we got. The average score is 3.5 out of 10. Wow. Let's take a second and let's talk about this. We got a few number 1s in here, like just straight up not excited about this future or the team right now. And I do wonder, because I didn't specify, right? I left it very open-ended. I wonder if the ones that we're seeing from Nets fans are saying, yeah, we're not going to be good this year, or it's ones as I don't see our future being bright. Because I can see it a couple different ways. Because obviously the Brooklyn Nets are not going to be good. Joe Tsai, who's the owner of the Brooklyn Nets, was basically saying, we only have 1 draft pick this season, so we want to make it good, which shows like their goal is to tank this season. So I can understand you not being happy about the tank. But I wonder if you're saying like, yeah, we have 5 first-round picks, and I don't believe in none of those guys being anything in the NBA, because I could see that as well. The highest grade we got, there's one really optimistic Brooklyn Nets fan that's like, hey man, it's a 9 for me, dog. We going for it. There's another 9, but 0 10s. Then we get to Charlotte. Charlotte is a smaller market, so not that many answers. They get a 5.4. Again, I'm going to keep track of all of these and everything. So Hornets fans are more excited or happy than Nets fans, which I can understand because the new regime of the Charlotte Hornets seems like they're doing things the right way, right? After 30 years, it feels like, of incompetency. They have a front office that seems to be making the right moves around the edges. You have a young core that you could be excited about. Again, I'm a Brandon Miller guy. LaMelo Ball is obviously really good. Maybe you believe in Concanipo. There's a 10 in here. While like a couple seconds before that, there was somebody that said 1. I want to put the dude that put a 10 and the dude that put a 1, put them in the same room and let them talk it out and see if they can convince each other the excitement. That's a YouTube video for another day. Chicago Bulls. So let's see if Zach Lowe is right. I see a lot of 1s in here, but why is there this string of 10s in here? Whoa. No way that many people put 10 for the Bulls. First of all, big market team, huh? They're saying the average is a 3.8 for the Bulls. And that's with us having, I don't know who these people are. These people that put these 10s right here, yeah, I just double checked it. Oh, you can only answer 1 time. So if this feels very weird because even the times are weird, unless there was a glitch in the system where somebody was just spamming it and they all got through, I'm gonna discount. Can I take some of these? I can straight up just delete your opinion. Welcome to 2025, ladies and gentlemen. Dang, we are pretty low on the list, huh? And that's a huge sample size. Oh my goodness. That's 286 different responses for the Bulls. And the average score is a 3.7. Dang, dude. Yeah, that's what we do, huh? Cleveland fans should be really excited. This could be their Eastern Conference to lose. Their average is an 8.7. No notes. Who's the low? How is there a 5 in there? How is there a 5 in there? But you know how many teams would die to have your roster right now? How many fan bases would die to have Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, Jared Allen, and Donovan Mitchell? And there's somebody here like, yeah, I'm average excitement for me this year. Y'all might win a championship. Dallas Mavericks fans, this is a good case study. It's a very good case study because I could see people being like, hey, man, if you forget about the fact that Luka was on the team once upon a time, this team was pretty intriguing. It's an average 5. Right in the middle. Boom. Half of their fan base is really excited. Or I guess it's split down the middle because you got some 1s. You got 110 in here. But for the most part, it's really a bunch of 6s and 7s and stuff. So, okay, cool. Denver should be riding sky high. I think this should be like an 8 point something. 8.7. The deepest Denver Nuggets team in the Jokic era. Hopefully they end up winning more than 55 this season and they go on to be a real championship contender again. The lowest score they got was a 7. The most pessimistic Nuggets fan that clicked this link had it at a 7. Detroit Pistons. Oh, man, I wish I started this last year. Because can you imagine after the 27-game losing streak how low this number would have been? Right now it's 8. It's 8. We made the postseason. We got an emerging superstar in Kay Cunningham. We got one of the best defensive wings in basketball, and he's only, 21 years old. And we look to be a playoff team again. It's an 8. They're definitely not in the running for the most sad fan base. Here's the Golden State Warriors. They are at a 6.4. Definitely one that I was curious about. That's about what I would guess it would be. This team still has a ton of talent. The only downside you could say is, hey, our new front office may be risk averse. So we had this whole offseason about Jonathan Kuminga, and we're all dinosaurs in our star lineup. Everybody is 35 or older except for one guy, and that's just tough to go and do a championship run. But it is a better outcome for Steph Curry than like a lot of the aging legends in the NBA. Houston should be riding sky high. I mean, Freddie injury may change this number a little bit, but I'm assuming it's pretty high. It's a 9.1. Yeah, man. I mean, you got Kevin Durant, Amin Thompson, Şengün. No notes, man. No notes. Anybody give it less than an 8? Okay, we got one person in Houston Rockets fandom. 2 people in Houston Rockets fandom, they gave it a 7. That's the lowest they gave it. Indiana, coming off a finals run where their best players out with an Achilles. Actually, woke up this morning to see that starting 5 had just came out. It got Halliburton, it's got Shea, it's got Kevin Durant. Not an ad or anything because I don't work for that company anymore, but I cannot wait to watch that. They're at an 8.5. Like, how can you, obviously you're sad that Halliburton won't suit up this season, but it's like, he'll be back and we can maybe do a run again. We do have a 3 in here though. I saw a 3. Somebody's like, where's that 3 at? Yeah, somebody's like, there's a 1 in here. That's got to be just for this upcoming season. No way you felt like coming off a championship, your happiness is at a 1. Maybe you're just still sad about the injury, but that's got to be just thinking about this upcoming season. Again, I left it open-ended. The Clippers are an interesting team too. They got their fans at a 7.1. I think I saw a 4 up here. We got a 3, we got a 4, but for the most part, there's another 3 there. For the most part, we got 7s and 8s. Another dinosaur type of team, but they got some good depth to maybe match that dinosaur team. Lakers fan base. Oh my God, there's so many Lakers. How many is this? 332 Lakers fans answered this poll. That's nuts, bro. That's nuts. The Lakers and the Clippers are in the same market, and the Clippers got 1/3 the amount of people that the Lakers did. That's nuts. So the average for the Lakers is a 7. LeBron is dealing with sciatica, but they did just get gifted Luka Doncic last season. So I would still be happy because even if this season is not a year of greatness, I truly do believe that 2027 thing that they've been talking about is real. They're going to go out there and try to get some big names in 2027. So we're maybe a ways away, but man, 332 people from the Lakers. Oh, man. Memphis is at 5.3, middle of the pack when it comes to it. Obviously, a team that deals with a ton of injuries every single season. Even this year, they're already starting off with a ton of injuries. I think they said Jaren might be ready for start of the season. Ja tweaked his ankle. He said he's fine. But it's always a team that's dealing with something. So I can understand people being middle of the pack when it comes to optimism. The Miami Heat are definitely a team that I think is going to be pretty low. They got a lot of fans. And They're at a 4.5. That is pretty low. There's not a single double-digit number in here. Not even one person trolled and said, hey, I'm a 10 when it comes to the Heat. We got a good amount of ones. So many sixes, it looks like. The 6 is the number that keeps popping up. Milwaukee Bucks. Oh, that's an interesting case. Let's see. 5.5. It seems like most fan bases are in the middle of the pack. Milwaukee, middle of the pack. We got a 1 in here. That guy must believe that Giannis is getting traded this year. Yeah. Minnesota should be pretty high. They are sitting at 8, an even 8. No notes. Anthony Edwards is there. He's a dog. That might just be enough. If I was a fan of that team and I had Anthony Edwards, I'd probably be at like a 9 just because Anthony Edwards exists. The Pelicans are at a 4.8. We got some 1s in there, but we do got like some 8s, real optimists about Skinny Z. The Knicks should be super high. It's going to be a lot of Knicks fans here. A lot of them. They should be like an 8 or a 9. 8.6. Yeah, I mean, Knicks fans should believe that they can win a championship this season. So, yeah, they should be this high. Man, boy, look at this string of 10s. Speaking of string of 10s, are y'all ready to see OKC fan base be like a 9.9? There's no way it's not a 9.9 after all those 10s. 9.946. Who was the person that put 9? Coming off a championship, still projected to win 65 plus games, MVP of the league, DPOY candidate, another All-NBA player wing, one of the greatest defensive teams of all time. How can you be a 9 coming off a championship? Y'all are spoiled. That's what it is. You're a spoiled fan if you're a 9 with OKC. Because not only did you just win, you have the run rate to do it again and again and again and again. A 9? Bro, just bask in the success. Orlando should be pretty high too. Big trade this offseason. Good young core. I'm going to guess 8 point something. 8.4. Yep, no notes. Philly should be all over the place. They are at a 4.6. That's so interesting because we get like as high as 8s and so many 1s. We got a legit 10 in here. Somebody was like, this is about to be the best 76er season of my life. I admire the optimism. Suns is probably pretty low, ain't it? 5 even. Okay, another 5 range team. We did get a 10 in here, though. This guy's really happy that Kevin Durant's off his team, I guess. Next, we get to the Trailblazers. Man, that's more Trailblazer votes than I thought I was going to get. They're the 7. Wow. I mean, I see a lot of 7s. I also see a 1 in here, though. I should have let 0 be a number. How many zeros do you think we see? But no. A 7 for the Trailblazers, the Sacramento Kings. This is what we're here for. Are they lower than the Bulls? The answer is 2.8. So yes, they are the most unhappy fan base in the NBA. They do have a 10 in here, though. That's just a Russell Westbrook Stan account that's like, he's finally back. Actually, they have 4 10s. All right. Y'all keeping that number high. You eliminate those 4 10s, and it's like, yeah, our average is like a 2 even. Because it's not like we got a big sample size of Kings fans. San Antonio Spurs, they got Wembanyama. How can you not be at least a 9 with the Wembanyama thing? 9 is 9.08. So like a 9.1 is the happiness scale for the San Antonio Spurs. So many 10s. If I had a generational player, man. I misspelled Raptors here. Sorry, Toronto. Let's see what the Raptors fans are. I can see this being all over the place, but I definitely don't think it's going to be towards the bottom. It's a 5.5. 5.5 is like what feels like the average, which, yeah, average of 10 is 5. But you get what I'm saying. Utah Jazz, I'm sure there's some optimism. There's like 12 people that voted for the Jazz. Oh, my God. How many people exactly? 17 Jazz fans clicked this link out of like 4,000 people. Only 17 of them are Jazz fans. Whoa. They're the 5.3. And lastly, the Washington Wizards. And these numbers down here are people that just clicked the link since we started filming. So people are still going. 5.8 for the Wizards. There's a 1 and a 10 right behind each other. These people answered the question 6 seconds after each other. And one of them was like, this is some shit. And the other one was like, this is the best thing of all time. That's amazing. So we learned that the Kings are indeed the saddest fan base in the NBA with small sample size. We learned that the Chicago Bulls are pretty low on that list. They're pretty low on that list. Matter of fact, should I just put them in order? Let me put them in order real quick. Here it is, the final spreadsheet that I just threw together really, really quick. The most miserable fan base in the NBA is the Sacramento Kings with a 2.8. Then the Brooklyn Nets with a 3.5. They did have Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving on the team just a few years ago, and now they got, I was going to say Drew Timmy, but they don't even got Drew Timmy no more. 3.7 for the Chicago Bulls, so they're sitting really low. The Miami Heat, the 76ers, New Orleans Pelicans. Then we get to these 5 ranges, which is Dallas, Phoenix. The most happy team in the NBA, without surprise, is the reigning champs OKC, which nearly had a perfect 10 out of 10. Obviously, it makes sense that it feels like the undoubtable playoff teams are the most optimistic, with the teams with too many question marks are the most miserable. So there it is, Zach Lowe. Yeah, we not the most miserable fan base. We're at number 28 when it comes to that. Yeah, it's bad. Let me know what you think. You can still take the quiz. I guess I'll put it in the description if you want to. Now, some of y'all gonna troll. I know some of y'all gonna troll.